What's going on, everyone? Chris from Pickdawgz.com here with the Wraparound. We're going to be breaking down the NHL action going down on Thursday, November 21st, 2024. If you like this content, make sure you smash that thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel. Let me know your NHL picks in the comment section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, the games that I absolutely love, head to Pickdawgz.com and click the Premium Picks tab at the top of the page. Well, we got an interesting card on Thursday, a 10-game card. Didn't have the best day with the wraparound on Wednesday. It was just a mess yesterday. Thought it was uploaded, came home, it wasn't, and we got it up a little bit later, and I said it was just a cluster yesterday. But we're gonna come back stronger. We're gonna come back better. The books aren't gonna know what hit them. Let's make some cold hard cash today. What do y'all say? You know the drill. You ready? I'm ready. Let's get into it. Our first game takes us to the Capital One Arena where the Washington Capitals take on the Colorado Avalanche. The big story for the Washington Capitals, no Alexander Ovechkin, as he is currently dealing with an injury after taking a knee-on-knee collision. But that being said, I know, having no Alex Ovechkin really stings for this team. But this is still a decent Washington team that has a lot of depth, and they've been able to score a lot of goals as of late, and I get it. Some of those were Alex Ovechkin's, but still, they're 7-2-1 at home this season. The Colorado Avalanche are barely above 500 this year. They narrowly got by the Philadelphia Phillies on the first game of this road trip. And I just think that, the Colorado Avalanche are going to be a hard team to trust with their goaltending situation the way it is. I know Georgiev's been playing a little bit better. Anunen's been able to shoulder the load as what looks to be the number one in Colorado's goaltending room. But I'm not backing this Avalanche team or trying to lay any sort of juice with this team on the road just because I can't trust them. They are a talented team on paper from a forward and a defense perspective, but the goaltending still just, gives me pause. So I'm going to lean towards the Capitals at plus money in this one. Now we head to the TD Garden where the Boston Bruins take on the Utah Hockey Club. And the big story for Boston is that they fired their head coach, fired Jim Montgomery, only 2 seasons removed from one of the best seasons in NHL history. And, Boston just hasn't been able to string it all together. They're just 4-16 on the puck line this season. Are the Boston Bruins? They're still a sub 500 team at home at 5-4-2, so 5-6 basically. But that being said, I still think this is a bounce back spot for the Boston Bruins. Normally, out of the gate, after a coach gets fired, you get the new coach rub at least for a game, and we've seen it in the NHL the last couple years. And I mean, heck, the Edmonton Oilers rode a new coach rub all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals. So I'm going to lean towards the Boston Bruins here to get the bounce back here at minus 170, but not one of my favorite games on the board. Now we head to the Prudential Center where the New Jersey Devils take on the Carolina Hurricanes. And I've gone trying to sift through this line to try to figure out why the Carolina Hurricanes would be underdogs in this one. Because head-to-head, they've won 6 in a row against New Jersey. The New Jersey Devils, the last time we saw them at home, they beat San Jose 1-0. And they haven't really been tested at home in a little while. And even then, they're still 4-3-2 at home this season. They played their best hockey on the road. So to see Carolina here as an underdog, outside of the fact they're on the second half of a back-to-back, there's nothing really here. And I've said before, I like this goaltending room in Carolina. I like Spencer Martin, as a backup here. He was successful against the Ottawa Senators, posted a shutout in his last start. He did give up a goal on 3 shots in a backup spot where he had to fill in for Peter Kochetkov. But like I said, I'm just not sold on the New Jersey Devils just because of how inconsistent this team can be. There's no one banged up for the Hurricanes here. So aside from just being on a back-to-back, there's nothing here saying that the Devils should be favored in this spot. I think it should be closer to a coin flip if the Devils weren't going to be a home dog. I like the makeup of this Hurricanes team. So give me the Hurricanes at plus money in this one. Now we go to this matchup between the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Tampa Bay Lightning, and it's coming to us from the Nationwide Arena. And Columbus, this has been a Columbus team that I've really just sort of had a hard time pegging down lately because they do have some spots where I think they could provide some value, and I think that definitely they can give us some plus money down the road, but I'm not about to back them, in this spot just yet because the Tampa Bay Lightning, yes, they're a better team at home than on the road, but the Tampa Bay Lightning have also owned this matchup with the Columbus Blue Jackets winning 8 of the last 10 meetings. The bulk of those have been by 2 or more goals. Columbus, yeah, they got the win in Boston last time out, and last time we saw them at home against Pittsburgh, they won that game 6-2, and they're 5-3 at home this season. But Andrei Vasilevskiy, 16-4 in his career against these Columbus Blue Jackets. I have no reason to think that he wouldn't get the start here. I just think that right now you got the Columbus Blue Jackets that are kind of free falling, and while the majority of those games where they were in free fall have been on the road, it's still current form that kind of permeates throughout the team. So I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Lightning in this one at -170. It would not be opposed to a puck line play either. Now we're going to Little Caesars Arena where the Detroit Red Wings take on the New York Islanders. And the Detroit Red Wings right now are just looking like a lost cause. I mean, this is a Detroit team that's all of a sudden lost 3 straight and 5 of 6 during this 3-game losing streak to end their recent road trip. They had given up a combined 15 goals to the likes of the Sharks, Ducks, and Kings. Not a good look for this Detroit team that really just, like I said, can't get out of their own way right now. The New York Islanders are a team I've had a hard time, backing with any sort of conviction this season, mainly because of lack of an inconsistent offense. But they still are decent on the road. They're 5-4-3 away from UBS Arena this season. And not only that, but the New York Islanders, for my money, just have the better goaltending, have the more stable goaltending room. Now, yes, this team has lost back-to-back in 4 of 5, including 3 of 4 on this road trip, but they've been competitive in all those games, and they beat the Vancouver Canucks outright. And I just don't think that this is enough of a test to really think that the Islanders wouldn't win this game on the road, or that the Red Wings all of a sudden be able to challenge them here. So I'm going to take the New York Islanders on the money line in this one. Now we head to this matchup between the Ottawa Senators and the Vegas Golden Knights from the Canadian Tire Center. And Vegas on a back-to-back as well in this one. But I am not touching the Ottawa Senators at this price. They've lost 3 straight and given up a combined 14 goals in that 3-game stretch. They do still have a winning record at home. But now they take on a Vegas Golden Knights team that, yes, is on a back-to-back, but has owned this matchup, including the first meeting this season in Vegas, where Ottawa was up 4-3 with about 3 minutes to go and gave up 3 goals in a span of 125 to choke away that lead and lose the game. And while you may say, well, it's a revenge spot, the Senators haven't forgotten about that. For me, it doesn't matter. The Vegas Golden Knights have flat out owned this head-to-head, and you're giving me one of the best teams in the NHL at plus money. They still got a decent backup option, Ilya Samsonov, who's seen the Senators plenty of times with his tenure with the Toronto Maple Leafs. So I'm going to go with the Vegas Golden Knights on the plus money in this one. Now we head to this matchup between the St. Louis Blues and the San Jose Sharks from the Enterprise Center. And I know it caught a lot of flack and from a couple people in the YouTube comments yesterday saying, oh, how could you back the Sharks against the Stars? That's crazy. I explained it yesterday. We were getting a hefty price for plus money, and our chance to make 4 times our money on one game. I said, if you want to lay -525 with a hockey team, be my guest. But I can tell you, I have seen so many of these teams lose in like these crazy spots where they were, a hefty favorite, and then all of a sudden, like the Colorado Avalanche, I believe, lost to Arizona when they were the Coyotes, lost as a -600 favorite. So I'm not doing it. Now, as far as this game goes, the St. Louis Blues, I get why they're favored by such a heavy margin, but the San Jose Sharks, have been a 500 team over their last 12 games, and the St. Louis Blues have lost back-to-back games in 6 of 7. So I'm going to take a shot here again with the San Jose Sharks. Again, I know it's not for everybody, but for a team playing as well as the Sharks are right now, I'm going to keep taking it and take the plus money as well. Now we head to this matchup from the United Center where the Chicago Blackhawks take on the Florida Panthers. And this is one game where, as much as I want to take a shot on a home dog, I'm not going to be able to in this one because the Chicago Blackhawks are struggling right now. They've lost 3 straight and 5 of 6. They've scored 2 goals or less in 6 straight games. And numbers like that are not going to cut it when you're playing a Florida Panthers team that, has lost 3 of 4. But let's look at those losses. Back-to-back losses at home, sure, against the New Jersey Devils, who are still a playoff caliber team. And they split and they just lost their most recent game on the road in Winnipeg against the Jets team. That is still the best team in the NHL from a record perspective right now. Not holding that against the Florida Panthers. There's just a seismic mismatch in talent here and form as well, and especially in goaltending. So I'm going to go with the Panthers to win this one in regulation at -150. Sprinkle a little bit on the puck line as well at +105. Now we head to the Rogers Place where the Edmonton Oilers take on the Minnesota Wild. And another spot where I kind of was just trying to figure out why this line is where it is, because Minnesota is a rested team coming into this matchup. Edmonton, they beat the Ottawa Senators on the road. They're coming back home as well off a road trip. And last time we saw them at home, they've won back-to-back home games on that little mini homestand. They needed overtime to get by the Preds and the Islanders in those two games, though. And you're giving me plus 135 with a Minnesota team that is 8-1-2 on the road this season. I'm going to take it. The Minnesota Wild are one of the most profitable road teams in the NHL this season because of that start they've gotten off to, while the Edmonton Oilers, second least profitable in the NHL in terms of playing at home because of overpriced lines like this. So I'm going to take the Minnesota Wild. I'm going to take the plus money in this one. Our final game on Thursday's card takes us to the Scotiabank Saddledome, where the Calgary Flames take on the New York Rangers. And should be a great matchup here between a Calgary team that does play their best hockey at home, where they are 7-3 so far this season, while the New York Rangers 7-1 on the road and winners of 3 straight. Rather than try to mess around and split sides, though, even though the plus money with Calgary does look tempting, I'm going to go with the under 6 here. Like I said, the Calgary Flames, their goaltending has stepped up. In their last 2 wins at home, they have allowed just 1 goal combined. They've allowed 1 goal or less in 3 straight at home. They've played to 5 straight unders with I believe 5 goals or less in all 5 and 4 goals or less in each of the last 4. You're going up against a Rangers team, that still has one of the best goaltending tandems in the NHL, whether it's Igor Shesterkin, who is a perennial Vezina candidate, or Jonathan Quick, who still has a sub-1 goals against average this season. To me, this just spells out an under. I'm going to take the under 6 in this one. That's it. That's all the NHL action for Thursday, November 21st, 2024. If you like this content, make sure you smash that thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. Let me know your NHL picks in the comment section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, the games that I love, including my daily $15 best bet, head on over to pickdawgz.com and click the premium picks tab at the top of the page. Remember to use the promo code PICK at checkout for an additional 15% off your purchase. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys.